probably the largest pesticide or the biggest pesticide delivered on our or used on our foods. It's primarily used in monocrops such as wheat and soy and corn, which obviously make up 60% of the Western world's calories, and add in a few other plants, it makes up a huge proportion of our calories. Probably up to 90% of the global food calorie comes from plants, and a lot of this is now used or grown with chemical agriculture. Now, glyphosate is a very interesting compound. It's fundamentally an antibiotic and a pesticide. Now, this product comes from a company called Monsanto. Monsanto are the same guys. Anthony mentioned the Vietnam War. Monsanto are the guys that produced Agent Orange, which was sprayed on the Viet Cong to basically to kill the foliage, right? To uncover these pockets of resistance by the U.S. Army, because obviously the Viet Cong were utilizing that shrubbery and the dense forest in Vietnam to kind of to hide and to wage their war. So this agent was employed with great effect, and it's still causing birth defects to this date. That's not debatable. It's you're getting kids born with severe mental retardation. There is limb defects. There's eye defects. People born without eyes. It's affected millions of lives even to this day. And that's the company that Bayer, a drug company, of course, acquired to make their product Roundup. Or when Bayer bought it, Roundup was already part of Monsanto's armory. But Roundup's not too dissimilar chemically from a structure from Agent Orange. It's a few chains different, a few carbon chains different, I think. And this product it's thought to be safe for us humans to consume. And that's the regulator has deemed that. Like, if you look up the Australian government website on glyphosate, it'll tell you glyphosate is safe to be consumed in food. But the way glyphosate is used, it is used on plants, and it's used on plants that are engineered to be resistant to it. Okay, you can't just go and spray it on an ancient species of wheat because you would kill it. So you have to have Roundup ready crop. So that's genetically engineered seeds made by Roundup, by the company. They sell the seeds. So these things like wheat and corn and so forth, these are Roundup ready, which just means that the Roundup can be used indiscriminately on them, and it won't kill the native plant or that plant because it's engineered not to die with it. But the crazy thing about it is they use that, and then eventually, when it comes to actual harvesting, they use a method called desiccation, which increases the harvest yield, where the Roundup is then sprayed again at a heavier dose, where it dries the actual plant, which makes it easier for the machines to go through and harvest the crop. So that's a huge amount of Roundup being delivered on these monocrops. And as a result, it's now detectable in 80% of Americans in their urine. They've got detectable levels of glyphosate. About 99% of a sample population in America. I suspect about 80 to 90% of Australians would test positive on this glyphosate test. It's not great when you're pissing Roundup, you know what I mean? Or it can't be great for you. Now, all that doesn't sound terrible because the Australian government said it's safe. And and they're right. The human cells lack something called a Shikimate pathway, which glyphosate inhibits. That's how it exhibits its herbicidal action. But the problem, Simon, is 60% of the human gut microbiome is sensitive to glyphosate, and that has not been studied. It's simply not been studied. I mean, everyone wants great gut health. Pretty bloody hard to do if we're chowing down on a pesticide, which ends up in our colon, affecting the gut microbiome, because that's where the microbiome is at their highest density in our lower gut. And I think, I certainly, maybe I can complain it's keeping me in a job, because we've got a whole host of the population with gut issues and so forth. But I think in 10 years or 5 to 10 years, hopefully we will discover that this was a major player in disease. And it's certainly been implicated in a lot of cancers like non-Hodgkin's lymphomas, and Monsanto and Bayer have paid out billions already. So there's something going on, and I hope that as a gastroenterologist I can kind of advocate for the population and say we should not be supporting these crops that are treated with it, and we should be looking to buy organic food stuff.
Mm,
Expensive, of course. Now, one of the beauties with these with the carnivore diet is animal products don't seem to accumulate the glyphosate, and I think I honestly believe, and I wanted to speak. I'd get Anthony and probably Sean Baker at some point to comment on it. Perhaps that's one of the major mechanisms of the carnivore diet. It's just a pesticide-free diet, basically. Contains all the essential amino acids and probably nutrients for life, right? And it gives you an adequate fuel source in the fat that contains most of these essential fats as well. But in addition to that, it just lacks that pesticide level that a lot of our grains have now got, and sadly our fruit and vegetables and berries and whatnot have got as well. So I think it's a major player, and it's something that I look forward to exploring in the years to come, because there's a lot that needs to be done with regards to it.